Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and sound. And I hear Burman and I hear Tapsi, and where I agree with them that yes, this is not going to last for long. But what it will change, it might change few habits. It might have some kind of implication the way consumers are consuming the media and the consumers the way they are shopping. What we believe that yes, COVID-19 crisis is having a huge impact on the businesses, and one of the key tasks post COVID will be to build back demand. Today the focus is not on essentials, but we know that essentials just make 30% of the household expenditure. So unless the non-essential categories start going, the economy will not rise back. And to that point, at L'Oreal, what we are thinking and planning is how to stimulate demand. How do we stimulate demand back into our businesses? And when you have that perspective, when you look at two things in India, the first is what makes India going. Definitely a Bollywood blockbuster or a big cricket match. So that means in the coming time, the celebrity or these role models will play a larger role. As Baman saying, yes, the creative takeout, the creative rendition might see a disruption, and we have to create many new ways to make creative happens to go to the consumers. But building demand will stay at the core. The entertainment, obviously people will be more hungry for entertainment because they will be staying at home, and the movie theaters will not be open, the crowd will be less. So yes, the entertainment sought by the consumers will go up, and this will give rise to more celebrities, more spokesperson. That will happen. And I feel the clutter on digital, the clutter on OTT platform will rise. And we always used a celebrity or a spokesperson who can connect with the brand to cut through this clutter and increase brand saliency. So i uh, so in the new age, or in the new time, the short term, I think the relevancy of using a spokesperson will still be higher. No wonder when we see even the messages on the safety today, it are the celebrities and the spokesperson which government has boarded to spread this message to the mass, to the mass consumers. And I think for the brands who needs reach, we would need the same power of two brands, the product brand and the celebrity brand coming together, working more in harmony than before. Defining new rules to engage. But I think that will be the key to cut through the clutter and get your message across, and stand and create some meaningful relevance among the consumers mind. So the context will change, the old insights may not resonate. Hence there's a need to adapt the advertising platform to the new consumer mindset and context. And we are looking ways how to create this synergy and platform to achieve the brand goals. I agree with with the panelists that creativity and content will be the crucial elements as the celebrity or non-celebrity advertising starts to roll back. First, yes, we need familiarity, and we really don't want to feed on to this new normal, what we had called, and only talk about a new context. Somewhere we need to make a shift. People want to feel normal, so the life what we will project, whether it's a Bollywood, whether it's a cricket, whether it's advertising, should get over indexed on what is getting normal. Yes, creativity will undergo disruption. Just to give an example, even like when people will be wearing masks, so obviously nobody is applying a lip color, but
Oh,
eyes becomes important. So we are thinking, how can we attack eyes, because eyes are the only thing which are seen. So in each and every category, in every business, there is a need to innovate and bring the creativity, the best side of the creativity to
got it.
to open.
Got it, Pankaj.
Definitely there will be a cut in media spends, okay, because we are not realizing the same top line what we had thought at the beginning of the year. So practically, yes, there will be budget cut, but whether the budget cut will applies to celebrities or influencers, I don't think so. There could be situations, because now you are activating new categories and you might need new influencers or a celebrity to come on board to activate that category. And you also know that India is not uniform across. India is divided today between the red, orange, and green. So you might have to pick up one particular state or market to deploy your marketing program, and for that you might need a local face. Hence, yes, the media budget will be down, but in terms of content, in terms of celebrity, I don't think there might be an increase on the other side.
I heard Boman and Tapsi, and I also heard my dear ex-colleague Pankaj. Just to tell you that, I have been associated with brands like PepsiCo, General Electric, and L'Oreal in the past. And I've also worked in retail with Spencer's. So I've had a retail and a very B2C career. But right now I work for textiles business of Aditya Birla, and I head that business, which is a non-FMCG business. So I'll try to give you the non-FMCG perspective, because there are enough FMCG people in this panel, and I don't need to get into their shoes actually when I've changed shoes. I think celebrity endorsement has been a way of brand building. Pankaj talked about it, and it helps them cut through clutter. And we've done that. For example, I have done it personally in Pepsi and L'Oreal for a long time. But the philosophy of the brand ambassador and the brand needs to match, and what you want to say in that creative rendition has to resonate. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It sometimes looks like a force fit. In India, Pankaj also touched upon this, but I really want to harp upon it. There are only two types of celebrities that cut across the country, which is cricket and which is Bollywood. Okay, these two, I think, will remain. But there are a new set of celebrities now with TV stars, OTT platform stars, theater stars, online people, designers, bloggers, etc. And other sports are rising. Like Tapsi has a badminton team. The badminton, tennis, football, I think, are relevant sports in India today. Kabaddi is a relevant sport in India today. And all these kind of celebrities are also available for work with the brands. I think if I give you the context today, and when I'm thinking non-FMCG, I have to think that, the overall monies that the companies have to spend on discretionary spends are going to go down. It's just like a consumer. It's going to go down. And brand building will still happen in FMCG companies, in phone companies, e-commerce companies, where Pankaj talked about, and I agree with him that, the problem is going to be demand side. When the factories start up, when the supply chain starts up, supply will happen. How do you create demand side? How do you overcome the demand side problem is going to be an issue. And I think first people, like Pankaj said, will come back from essentials to non-essentials. I think FMCG will move first, and they have to create demand, because they'll have to fight with each other for getting into the consumer's mind space within a limited spending capacity post-COVID. However, there'll be another set of companies which I represent now, which is manufacturing-led smaller brands, Linen Club, smaller brand, some B2B brands, some B2C brands. Here, there will be other things that are important. And a lot of companies are going to preserve cash and not burn cash to look after, number one, what is going to be the number one problem of a company? From a CEO's perspective, I'm telling you, it's going to be cash flow. You forget about everything. It's going to be cash flow, number one. And number two, it's going to be about people. So you have to protect your company and you have to protect your people. If you give this priority number one and priority number two, then marketing and brand endorsement and celebrity and advertising will come later. So in other industries other than FMCG, phone, etc., there'll be a shortcut, is my belief. And people like me will take it as a pause year. I will think that everything else, if fourth quarter goes well, which is Indian fourth quarter, January to March of next year, then I start all my investments from April. So I prepare myself from January to March. I pause till December, because I don't know when this will open, etc. So that is a possibility that one should keep in mind in a non-FMCG situation. Having said that, there is a very, very good case for celebrity endorsement in tough times of building brands. We've seen Pepsi do it. I was in Pepsi when the pesticide problem happened. We did it. Coke was alongside us. They did it. Coke had big celebrities at that point in time. They signed. Cadbury did it after the problem that they had, and Maggie did it after the problem they had, Nestle had. So in a downtime, investing ahead of the curve, taking big celebrities, using celebrity power, there's a very good case for that. However, there'll be industries and there'll be industries. Finally, I think megastars still cut across whether Bollywood releases films or not. I also think alternate stars will have a very big role to play, because alternate brands like us will go on alternate brands, because we are not Lux and we are not L'Oreal anymore. So we will go for alternate brand ambassadors. And I think pricing will play a point. And I'm not aiming at Bowman or Tapsi. And I know Tapsi is on Garnier now, which was my brand at some point in time. But I think there has to be a win-win between brand and the brand ambassador. And we all need to adjust to the new COVID life, because discretionary income will be lower both for companies and consumers. That's my point of view. I'm saying Manish is getting all this all wrong, and question should have gone to Bowman and Tapsi, and the other question should have come to us. But if you want to make us the celebrity, it doesn't work. But I am with both of my co-panelists, Swarnim and Bowman. Number one, I think the consumption will go up in OTT. It has already gone up. There's absolutely no way of running away from that. So if I was a celebrity, I would try to have a few exposure, etc. in the OTT platform, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever it is. Whatever you can think of, I should be in a relevant platform to remain a celebrity. I'm not talking about megastars. I'm not talking about Virat Kohli and the Khans and the Kapoors and stuff like that. But if you're not Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and if you're not Deepika Padukone and the Kapoors, etc., like that, then I think you need relevance, and OTT platform will give you relevance. Number two, what Swarnim said, that I would be putting out my real self or the things that I am famous for on social media, because I think social media is super relevant when people are staying at home. And in future also, there will be social distancing. COVID is not going to go away. Life will come back to normal, and we will learn to live with COVID as another ailment, I think. And hence, a few things will change. Now, coming back to, I think, Pankaj's point, where he said he's looking at, they're looking at eyes. I think from a fabric and apparel business guy now, I'm looking at masks, because I think the masks could be the new pocket square, and the masks could be the new tie. And people may match, and the 30 rupee masks will remain for mass consumption. But as we move along, there'll be fashionable masks. You'll match your dress with the mask. When you go to an event, then brand will organize, because there'll be a lot of people. When will you go back to Eden Gardens to watch a match or Wankhede? And when will you go back to an event? And how will you go back? You will learn new ways of going back, and there'll be a shift. So if I'm a celebrity, I'll be very strongly on social media. I will be on OTT platforms. I'll try to do this because I'll believe that most brands will continue with their celebrity agreements and the celebrity endorsement. But signing a new star for a new campaign, the casual signing is going to go down. I'll give it a go, because I identify my wife is the CMO of a very large financial firm, CDO and CMO. So she is doing conference in the other room, and I, of course, have seen her more than I've seen her in the last 22 years, in the last 40 days. So a banking firm, two pieces. I think a bank may. NBFC and others, I doubt. That's the real assessment, because NBFCs, etc., I don't want to get into the sub stories, are under tremendous pressure. Nobody is paying back anything. People are not understanding that if you don't pay 3 EMIs, then actually 6 EMIs come at the end. NPA's definition, they got some help, but otherwise NPA definitions will change. I think cash flow is a big problem. I think working capital is a big problem. Staying afloat is important at this point in time. New engagements from NBFC and non-banking, I doubt. Banking, maybe something, because savings banks are working, but savings banks only give out money. Banks earn money when they give loan, when credit card people use, etc. And like Pankaj said, 70% non-discretionary income spending, if it does not happen, economy never comes back. Banks also don't work. So financial services, I doubt. We also in Aditya Birla have a very big financial services business.
I'm aware.
And all of you know the CMO there.
You have two Ajays there.
Long time friend of ours. Yeah, two Ajays there. Yeah. So I will not take Ajay Kakkar's line, but my wife is Tata Capital CMO and CDO. So I know it's not going to be easy for any one of them. On the lifestyle thing that Swarnim talked about, China, we do a lot of our export business. So we have people based out of China, from Aditya Birla Textiles. And it's really come back. And like I'm saying, lifestyle will come back. He talked about the lipstick effect. I agree with that. Just to give you an example closer to home, our linen outlets started opening in the last 2-3 days in the green zones in India. Let's say Kerala, small towns of Kerala, where individual shops are there. It's not in a mall, it's in a residential. There are 10 reasons, 10 ways you cross to open a non-essential fabric and apparel store, right? Yeah. So we've been able to open a few, 10, 12 across upcountry Karnataka, Kerala. The sales are ranging between 20% to 70% of my daily average of that store.
Okay.
You imagine in the last 2 days, some stores are hitting 70% of the daily average pre-COVID. On an average, the 10-store average is 35%. Now, it's very fast. I think lifestyle is going to come back. And I don't think it will be life over lifestyle. It will be life with lifestyle. Lifestyle will change.
Okay.
You'll have to adapt to that. New models will come out, but lifestyle will remain.
Thank you, Anurag. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about, a lot of people have talked about how the future will be and what is going to happen. Maybe I can focus a little bit on the near term and the how of it. One of the big questions that's been around right now for most brands and companies is, should we say something or should we stay quiet in this? They're afraid of saying the wrong thing during COVID, right? And I'm firmly on the side of saying something, because just as brands, celebrities are also voices of authority. People believe them, people trust them. And this is a time when people need these voices of authority to help them, tell them, relieve them. But as also Baman and Tapsi have pointed out, can we keep saying the same things that we've been saying forever? No, because whether you're a soap company or a car company or a mobile phone company, you have to address the problem of COVID and say something which is relevant in this current situation. You can't be talking about, hey, my cream is going to make you look amazing without the context of COVID right now. So the amount of authenticity that is needed at this current time is a lot more than ever before. And all brands and celebrities have to look at that aspect. So what are people feeling right now? Some of the dominant emotions are fear. People are afraid. They are confused. They don't know what to do. Is this the right cure? Is that the right cure? Should we do this? Should we go here? Should we wear a mask? Should we not wear a mask? There is depression and stress by being locked down at home. And these are the emotional problems that people are facing, and many brands can help to address these issues. Let me take a few examples. Brands and celebrities should try and help. The obvious way is many brands have been donating. Brands have been donating soaps and sanitizers and money, etc. And it's vital to communicate that because it generates a good feeling towards the brand. And it is a real thing. But that may be a very high level kind of help. Help could range from a range of things. Yesterday, I saw a lovely piece of communication from Pankaj's company, which is L'Oreal, which has their star Eva Longoria, who's a big Hollywood star. And the ad was simply Eva at home shooting herself on her camera phone, applying hair color, saying, hey, I've got so many grays because I've locked down at home. I've never not been without makeup artists, but right now I am. And here's a tutorial of me doing my own hair color. And it was lovely because it was so authentic and it was so right for the times. And I know Tapsi works for Garnier, so who knows? We might see an Indian version of that. Then there is the issue of clarity. People are really confused.
I am ready to get my hair colored again. Please send across some crazy. I'm ready for it.
There you go, Pankaj.
Thanks, Tapsi.
there's the big issue of clarity, because especially in a country like ours, there's so many rumors, there are so many myths that's going around, and someone needs to bust that, because people want the real thing right now. So whether it is the level of alcohol in your sanitizer, can you wash your hands with vodka? All these questions keep going around, these WhatsApp forwards, and people need to hear from a voice of authority what to do. I'll quote a Lifebuoy ad which had Kajol in it, and she said, look, right now you can wash your hands with Lifebuoy, and named and said you can wash your hands with any other soap, whether it is a Dettol or a Godrej or a Lux, even competitors' soap. And that kind of message, which is providing clarity, is really appreciated at these times, because people know what the truth is, and you're not doing what you used to do before, which is simple competition. And then I think there is a huge need for positivity, which is not a solution, but just positive emotions, and brands can play a big role in that. I saw a film which was put out by the Bollywood film fraternity, which had Mr. Bachchan, Ranbir Kapoor, and many other stars from Malayalam and Tamil cinema. And the film was entirely shot in their households and put together, but as a message for staying in. And the message was, if we can make this film sitting in our own houses, you can sit on your sofa and rest in your houses and not go out. So stars are best known for their entertainment potential. And this is a time when people need humor, they need positivity, and they need entertainment. And people can do that. We've seen around the world big musicians, big DJs putting on concerts for free from their living rooms. And hundreds of thousands are tuning in for that kind of stuff. I saw a post by Salman Khan where he said, if Maine Pyar Kiya was made today, how would it change in the context of COVID? And he had done it before and after. It was quite funny. It was just humor. It is not a donation, which he's anyway doing, but people really appreciate that, because right now we're all starved and we're looking at our screens. And finally, I think there's the message of appreciation, because there are these frontliners that are doing a fantastic job, whether it's the doctors, the nurses, the cops. And a lot of brands are expressing thanks to them. Well, it's the right thing to do, but it's also a smart thing to do from a brand point of view, because people share these videos, people love to consume this content. Yes, it is not talking about how the soap is making your skin soft, but if we are the soap of the stars being Lux, these are our new stars who are the frontliners. So I think there is a lot of scope in terms of the creativity that we spoke about to make a message which is valid for the times of today. And that is the only message in town in the short run. That is the only game in town. And both brands and celebrities have to realize that is what people want. That is what people will appreciate. And it is not the time to sit back quietly. It is the time to speak out, but with authenticity in the right context of the times. There is this aspect of ads having disappeared from television and no IPL happening. But the biggest thing which has gone up tremendously is screen time, whether it's digital platforms or it's even television. All the data we have across countries is people are watching a lot more. So as a celebrity, the biggest medium I have is the digital platform. These days, social media accounts run into tens of millions for big celebrities, and even hundreds of millions. And as a celebrity, the one thing that I would do is not be quiet, because like I said, I have an audience of millions on digital anyway. I don't need to have a brand run an ad on TV. Right. So I would put out my perspective, whether it is to entertain, whether it is to reassure or clarify in any way that people, whatever content people are willing to consume at this point. And if I were a brand, I would definitely use this as well and tie up in a way which, again, puts it out to this audience of hundreds of millions, a message relevant for the time. So I think, yes, brands are off TV, etc., and this advertising has gone down, but we live in an age where in many countries, actually, you have a bigger audience on digital than on television, and that is always available. And I would utilize that heavily right now when people are watching more of it. Well, let me take that first. It really depends on the nature of the company, because you have companies of different scales. There are big companies which have large cash reserves and can afford, in a way, to support their marketing spends, even at present times when sales have really been curtailed because of lockdowns, etc. And on the other spectrum, you will come to startups who will follow a very, very strong strategy of cash conservation, and everyone in the middle of that spectrum. So yes, our brands doing fresh endorsements right now, very few, but in big companies, even now. So I'll give you an example from Unilever. We've just signed on Salman for Lifebuoy, because that's perhaps a brand that is very relevant right now. And we see the value in having a mega star like him advertising for Lifebuoy. It's now on air. So even in this situation, there are big brands which are going ahead. Of course, that's not valid for everyone. If you are in an industry which is very negatively affected, you will conserve. But the moment it opens up, you will want to come back strongly, as many of the other panelists have said. And if you're a smaller company, the cash flow is a much tighter situation for you. Then you would completely go off air and conserve all marketing budgets, and that could even go down to zero. And at least I would say a 50 to 60% cut at this point of time, because you're not getting any revenues. So it really depends on the scale and the kind of business you're in, the response of your company to how much you're advertising and whether you're doing celebrities.
So you're saying the budgets will be cut?
In general, yes, certainly.
And is the number you have?
I can't give you a fixed number because it really depends, like I said, on what scale of your company, what is the scale of your company and what is the business you're in. Let me give you an interesting perspective. I work a lot in China, and perhaps in the world at this point, that is the one country that has come into the post-COVID phase, right? It dramatically declined and now it's almost non-existent. And I saw my colleagues, etc., being locked in way before we were locked in. And now we are in that situation and they are out of it. So I see their lives now. What's happening in that market is that lifestyle has come back in the biggest way possible. It has exploded. Some marketeers call it the lipstick effect, which is, after you've been up shit creek for a long time, you want to indulge yourself a lot. And that's actually happening. And as we see, people don't want to talk about hygiene and germs and social distancing and masks. None of this. They want the best creams, long relaxing baths. They want to go out. This last weekend has been a big travel weekend in China, where everyone has been traveling like the blazes, the Labor Day week. So it's very hard to imagine right now when we are locked down that lifestyle could be important, but it's fascinating how quickly it comes back, because human beings at the end of the day want, to take care of themselves. So if we think that everything is going to be masks and social distancing and staying indoors, that can change like this. And I've seen it personally in China.
Yeah.
So brands would be, they would be risking stuff if they pivot so much that, they're not able to come back fast enough.
Should anticipate some revenge shopping.
Or become inauthentic, because if you have nothing to do with the life-saving aspect, don't force foot your way over there.